It's hot.
Very, very hot. Hey guys, welcome to the Weekly Drip, the show where two music nerds create weird and wacky hot sauces based on our favorite songs. I'm your co-host, Mike King.
And I'm your co-host, Wyatt, Dozier.
Make sure to catch up on our podcast, Getting Sauced, for the first part to this episode.
And today, we're making a hot sauce inspired by Walking Phoenix. Not that guy from the Joker. I'm talking about Walking Phoenix, the band. Allow me to elaborate. Walking Phoenix is a band from Fargo, North Dakota that we just interviewed on our last Getting Sauced podcast. That's right, we've got guests on the podcast because we're not just about featuring the classic rock songs of old, we're also about featuring songs from today by up-and-coming bands. So, if you haven't heard that, go ahead and check out the podcast, Getting Sauced. Get caught up on everything that we've done before, and get caught up on what Walking Phoenix is all about.
Today's episode is based on last week's Getting Sauced podcast, Local Licks with Walking Phoenix, where we broke down Fargo rock band Walking Phoenix's single, Birthday. Over the course of that episode, Wyatt and I decided to make sauces that raised the heat, included ginger, and possibly even tasted a little bit like birthday cake. Let's see how we took those ideas and turned them into hot sauce.
Flavor notes.
We had a chance to sit down with Jaden Alverson from Walking Phoenix to talk about the inspiration behind the song and really deep dive into the lyrics and all the different musical elements and really get to know what exactly inspired the song. So this was a great opportunity. A lot of times where we try to derive all of these flavors, it mostly comes from speculation on myself and Mike's part as to where to derive inspiration from these sauces. But in this instance, we got to go straight to the source. We know exactly what inspired the song, and he threw us a few curveballs too as far as the ingredients go. So let's get into it.
For my sauce, I decided to include some pretty hot peppers because we talked about a lyric in the song, Birthday, that says, I'm getting hotter, I'm soaking up the sun. So I thought, what pepper is better for a really hot sauce than Bujalokia ghost peppers? They are absolutely beautiful. These are nice and fresh. I'm very excited to work with them again. Provide a nice bit of heat, and they have a good flavor as well. Now, to complement those peppers, I decided that I would kind of fall back into form here a little bit this week and jump right back into using habaneros. Again, very fresh. I can find them here in Fargo pretty much anytime I want to. And they provide a really nice low heat level that will persist a little bit longer than the, really bright, hot flash of heat that will come immediately from the ghost peppers. Deciding to kill two birds with one stone a little bit here, I remember Jaden talking about enjoying an Irish whiskey, and he did require us to use ginger as one of our ingredients here. So I decided that I would go back to my bartending days a little bit and create a little bit of a cocktail as the base for this sauce. So this here is a highball made with Irish whiskey and ginger beer. To those of you mixologists out there, I'm very sorry, it is not in a highball glass. It does not have ice in it. But I'm cheap and I don't have highball glasses, and why would I put ice in a hot sauce? It's a hot sauce, not a cold sauce. But I thought that probably wouldn't be enough ginger, who would just use ginger beer and no other ginger when that's like our main ingredient that was required from Jaden? That would be stupid. So I do have some fresh ginger root here as well. I'm certainly not going to use all of it. My much more culinarily talented fiance, who is currently behind the camera, warned me that this is very potent and I should use it sparingly. So I will attempt to follow that advice. And then of course the title of the song is Birthday. So we don't want to make something that tastes like whipping out your birthday suit, as the song actually talks about. We should probably just try to make something that tastes like a birthday cake. So I dug around my pantry and this was all I could really find. Some sprinkles. I took them out and I got them out here with my ingredients, and then I thought to myself, Mike, don't do this. Nobody wants sprinkles in their hot sauce. So we're just gonna yeet these out of here. Not gonna use them. And of course, as always, I'm going to add a little bit of salt because it adds a nice, saltiness to the dish.
Okay, so in terms of ingredients, this one's going to be a bit of a strange one. One of the things that we were challenged specifically to put in this sauce are sort of Iron Chef type, I don't know what they call it on Iron Chef. Zia can look that up, whatever they call it. The thing that we were tasked with putting in the sauce, both Mike and I.
Today's secret ingredient is
ginger, to provide some kind of deceptive or slow burn. I thought I had some actual ginger here on hand, some ginger paste. Turns out I didn't, so I'm calling an audible. I do happen to have some ginger beer, and I think that that'll work just fine.
Who would just use ginger beer and no other ginger when that's like our main ingredient that was required from Jaden? That would be stupid.
So, starting with ginger, and one of the other things that I had talked about adding to it as well, in terms of providing a northern kind of Fargo, Minnesota, Moorhead kind of thing, was including some type of fish, which, full disclosure, there are only two ways in which I can find fish palatable. Number one is if it just comes so fresh, straight out of the water, you immediately cornmeal batter that thing and fry it, and it's so fresh that it hasn't had time to develop any kind of funky flavors. Or the other is if you cover it up in so much batter and malt vinegar that you can't tell what kind of meat you're eating anyway, even if you tried, a la Long John Silver's style. But I do have some smoked salmon on hand from my brother. I'm gonna throw this in here. I'm not gonna be happy about it, and it's a weird thing to include in a hot sauce, but it's for the podcast. It's for the video. We can do this. So, in addition to ginger and fish, how do you make those two flavors even remotely compatible? Well, I thought of trying to do some type of Asian type sauce to help all of these things coalesce. So I also have some soy sauce here to help bridge that gap. Some lime, my good old standby lime, to provide some acidity, and a little bit of honey to bring some sweetness, and bird's eye chilies to provide some heat side by side for the ginger. I also thought that wasabi would be good for this, since we're doing kind of a faux sushi-esque pairing. But of course, actual authentic wasabi is really hard to find, so we do what we so often do here in the Midwest and just take horseradish and pretend that it's wasabi. So it's the next best thing that we can get to wasabi here. So that's what I've got. We've got our wasabi, we've got our bird's eye chilies, smoked salmon, lime, soy sauce, ginger, and honey.
Let's get started. I think this might be a good sauce. Thought it might be kind of a fun change of pace for me to try searing my ingredients here, which I don't normally do. Normally I just cook them down, so we're gonna give it a shot. Use a little bit of our highball cocktail. Some for the chef. That's warm, that's very warm. Our ginger. Habanero. And our butt jalokia ghost peppers. Let's get sizzling. So now that we have a really nice sear, on our peppers here, we're gonna go ahead and get started on cooking them down a little bit to make them blend a little bit easier. First off, we're gonna go with the cocktail, the highball there. Ooh, nice little sizzle. The ginger smelled very nice when we were searing it, actually. The peppers smoked out my entire apartment with capsaicin, and everybody is coughing, so it's been a fun time.
Let's toss everything in the blender. Let's start with the chilies, because this is a hot sauce after all. We're gonna go pretty heavy on these, because they're tiny peppers, and they pack a deceptively large punch. We're talking about a phoenix here, you know, so. Continuing with the hot stuff, our wasabi. That's enough of that. And our more spice, the ginger. I'm certain this is not what the manufacturers of this had in mind. Soy sauce. Big freaking industrial sized thing of soy sauce. Always find a way to put limes in there and they're good. Just try not to get squirted in the face this time. Find the lime, we're good. With the honey. What'll probably be sabotaging something that will be delicious as it is. The dreaded salt. Ginger beer bubbled when I plopped that in there. That's not a good sound. Wait a minute. This entire time, the blender was not in frame. Oh, what a tragedy. Well, I ain't reshooting that. Here's what it looks like. You don't need to see this anymore than I do, though, folks. It's probably a blessing in disguise, because this looks downright frightening. I also just had a last-minute idea here, something I didn't include in my nice little list of initial ingredients, but I think some garlic would work really well. I mean, everybody knows if you got a recipe that's kind of a disaster and you need something that tastes good, garlic is never gonna let you down.
Okay, I'm gonna try to hold in my capsaicin coughs for a little while here to start blending this up. We've got our ginger, habaneros, ghost peppers, and our highball cocktail all in here, seared up, cooked down, ready to go. Go ahead and toss those in. And because I always add salt, a little bit of salt, and no sprinkles, and we're good to go. Let's get started.
I guess we better blend this now.
Okay, so it is time to taste the sauce, and I have something to admit. A little bit of inside baseball here for you guys. Wyatt did film his sauce making video before I filmed mine, and because he is up here visiting me for my last weekend in Fargo before I move back to the greater Chicago area, I have invited Wyatt to join me in the taste testing. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Wyatt Dozier.
Hey! What's up,
We are both going to try this, and then I'm going to give some of my opinions on the sauce, but I will ultimately, Lola, stop sneezing, that's my dog, defer to Wyatt's judgment, since he will have been the only person to have tried both sauces in determining an actual winner here, biased as he may be.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, inspired by the song Birthday by Walking Phoenix, here is my smoked salmon, ginger, soy sauce, honey, garlic, chili, lime concoction.
So without further ado, take a little scoop here.
Wish me luck.
Cheers.
Salud. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. It's very hot.
Oh my god!
There's ghost peppers in there.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of times with something that's really hot, you taste it and you're like, oh, this is gonna be pleasant. And then it starts to sneak up on you, you're like, oh no. That thing, as soon as it goes in your mouth, you're like, oh, I'm going to die.
Yeah. So I did not succeed in the prompt where we were supposed to make something that, similar to the song, sounds nice but has a serious message. I was supposed to make something that tastes nice at first but then burns.
Yeah.
I did not do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll say this though, as best as I can. It doesn't just taste like straight pain. It tastes good.
Yeah, there's a nice flavor to it.
They're so aggressive.
A bit of an unintended consequence of charring the ingredients. The name of the band is Walking Phoenix, and there's some black char pieces in the sauce, kind of similar looking to ashes. I'm just trying to give as many positives about this sauce as possible
I'll say this.
before I die.
aesthetically, it looks much better with, like you said, with the ash. Mine has hunks of partially blended fish in it. Not a great textural experience. Not a great mouthfeel. Something that contains a piece of blended up fish, it should be a crime against humanity. This was kind of tough to call because the fish sauce, despite having fish in it, is way better than it had any right to be. There is no way that it should be that good. If you want to like prank your friend and just be like, hey, this is the birthday hot sauce.
It's like Da Bomb.
No, this has redeeming qualities.
Sorry, hot ones.
Depending on your spice tolerance and whether or not you like smoked fish.
Sure.
So, you know.
This is definitely the hottest sauce I've ever made.
Oh, really? You don't say.
Yeah.
We have one more thing we need to do. And we need to properly garnish this sauce. So, tea peppermint sprinkles.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Let's go.
You got 2 in the sauce.
Like 2 of them. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wyatt Dozier, guest appearance on my side of the video.
Here, yay!
Just ruining my nice clean kitchen.
Yes, it's my fault that your kitchen looks like.
Get out of here. Alright guys, that's it for the weekly drip. Leave a comment to let us know whose sauce looked better to you. Remember to like, subscribe, and check out our podcast, Getting Sauced, where we come up with the ideas for these videos. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you can find podcasts. This episode was written and produced by Mike King and Wyatt Dozier. Big thanks to our amazing editor, Zia Fox. Another big thanks to my camerawoman and cooking coach, Kim Zaralka. Catch you next time on The Weekly Drip.
Now, to play you out as a tribute to the lyrics of the song Birthday by Walking Phoenix, I guess I'll get in my birthday suit. So we'll see you next time on The Weekly Drip.